Now, the leader of the world's Ismaili Muslims, the Aga Khan, has died at the age of 88. The Ismailis are a Shia Muslim sect with around 15 million members in Africa, Asia and North America, who revered the Aga Khan as a direct descendant of the Prophet Muhammad. Often described in the Western press as a billionaire socialite, he was known best in many places for his philanthropic work. The Aga Khan's charities ran hundreds of hospitals, educational and cultural projects, largely in the developing world. A short while ago, I spoke to Khalil Andani, Assistant Professor of Religion at Augustana College, Illinois in the US.
In his capacity as a spiritual guide, the Aga Khan functions as the spiritual father of the Ismaili community. And the community looks to him for spiritual strength, for guidance, for input on the community's affairs. And the Imam actively guides the Ismaili community on their day-to-day affairs. And there's a lot of love and devotion that Ismailis have towards the Aga Khan as their Imam.
So this must be a very difficult moment for many Ismailis.
Yes, it's a difficult time. It's also a moment that very few Ismailis historically actually get to live through when one Imam passes away. So there's a sense of sadness and loss, but there's also a deep sense of gratitude. Ismailis and many people who are not Ismaili in the wider global community have a sense of gratitude toward the Aga Khan for the work he's done, not just for the Ismaili community, but for the wider global population.
You met the Aga Khan, I think. What sort of impact did he make on you personally?
Yes, I met the Aga Khan when I was studying for my doctorate at Harvard, and he came to give a lecture. And for me, much of my educational journey, and I'm in my second career now, but much of my educational journey has been guided by the principles that the Aga Khan has taught. The Aga Khan has taught about educational excellence. He's also taught about the ethical use of knowledge for the benefit of others. And my own personal decision to become a professor of religion has been guided by those principles. And I could say the same is the case for many members of the Ismaili community who go on to pursue education in medicine and law and business and all these other fields. So all of us have been touched by the Aga Khan's guidance and by his support in our lives.
Yeah, I was thinking of spending time in Kenya, for example, and you see Aga Khan's name on hospitals and schools and universities, public gardens in Cairo, big development projects in Asia too.
That's correct. So the late Aga Khan, he became the Imam in 1957 when he was just 20 years old as an undergrad at Harvard. And since then, in addition to guiding the Ismaili community on their spiritual affairs, he established the Aga Khan Development Network, one of the world's largest private network of development agencies, and they spend about $1 billion annually raising the quality of life of the human population, from things such as building schools and hospitals to developing art and architecture. His Highness the Aga Khan publicly said that all of his humanitarian work stems from his duties as the hereditary Imam of the Ismaili Muslims.
And what is the process now for announcing his successor?
So throughout the history of the Ismailis, every Imam, of whom the late Aga Khan was the 49th Imam, every Imam has appointed one of his male descendants, such as a son or a grandson, as his successor. In modern times, the recent Imams have disclosed and appointed their successor in a written will. So the current Aga Khan left a last will and testament, and in the next few days, the will be read in the presence of the Aga Khan's family, and that is when the identity of his successor, the 50th Imam, will be made known to the world at large, and we expect that to happen fairly soon.
Assistant Professor Khalil Andani there. We've had messages in from Okumu Alex in Kampala, Uganda, saying, "May the soul of the Aga Khan rest in perfect peace. His philanthropy is felt here in Uganda with schools. His legacy is a great lesson to the haves to always show concern to the needy." Thoughts echoed by Martin Manuel Wugel in Juba, South Sudan, saying it's a major loss to East Africa because of his love for humanity.